Hey there, fellow traveler. Welcome back to Travel Vibes, your cozy corner for smart travel tips, real stories, and a little dose of wanderlust. Now, whether you're a first-time flyer planning your dream trip, a student heading abroad, a young professional juggling budget airlines and tight layovers, or just someone who's finally catching up on post-pandemic adventures, this one's for you. Because let me tell you, air travel isn't what it used to be. Gone are the carefree days of showing up with a carry-on, grabbing a soda on board, and leaning back for a nap. These days, you're dodging hidden fees, fighting for outlet space, and trying to remember which app you were supposed to download just to get a sandwich. Last winter, on a flight home from Lisbon, I watched chaos unfold. Overhead bins packed before half the plane had boarded, gate changes galore, and even someone who couldn't buy food because they didn't prep for the airline's surprise tech rules. That's when it clicked. Air travel has had a total makeover, and not all of it is pretty. But don't worry. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the new rules of flying. The stuff no one tells you about, but you definitely need to know before your next flight. Ready to fly smarter? If that sounds helpful, make sure to hit subscribe and join the Travel Vibes crew. Now, let's dive in. 1. Say hello to smarter skies. Free messaging and wireless sound on board. All right, let's kick things off with something that's actually getting better. Tech in the sky. If you're like most travelers in the US today, always on your phone, juggling group chats, confirming Airbnb check-ins, or just texting your mom that you made it through security, this one's for you. Major airlines like Delta, United, and JetBlue are stepping it up by offering free in-flight messaging. That means you can send texts through WhatsApp, iMessage, or Messenger without buying the pricey Wi-Fi plan. Just don't expect to send cat videos or selfies. Photos and videos usually aren't included unless you pay for full internet access. Now here's what's exciting. Bluetooth headphone pairing is finally rolling out on newer planes. So yes, you can use your AirPods or wireless earbuds to watch movies on the seatback screen. No more untangling cords or using those clunky freebies from flight attendants. But don't forget, some airlines still charge for full Wi-Fi unless you're a T-Mobile customer. So before you board, double-check your carrier perks and download the Airline's app. You'll thank yourself at 35,000 feet. 2. The seat squeeze is real, but you can outsmart it. Now let's talk about what really tests your patience mid-flight, the seats. If you've flown economy recently, you know exactly what I mean. Today's airline seats feel like someone tried to fit a yoga mat and a dinner tray into a shoebox. On some budget carriers, you're looking at just 28 inches of pitch. That's barely enough space to cross your legs, let alone stretch. But don't worry, you've got options. If you plan ahead, want a smoother ride, put a seat over the wing. Need to make a quick escape to catch a tight connection? Sit near the front. Craving more legroom? Exit rows are your friend, but remember, you'll lose that precious underseat bag space. One of my favorite underrated tips: if you're right-handed, grab an aisle seat on the left side of the plane. That gives your dominant arm room to move into the aisle instead of elbowing your seatmate. Oh, and for parents, good news. U.S. Airlines must now seat kids under 13 next to at least one adult in your group free of charge. But for everyone else, seat selection is becoming a money game, even at check-in. Choose wisely, or be prepared to play a little check-in chicken. 3. Power panic at 30,000 feet. Don't let a dead battery ruin your flight. All right, let's talk about something that has left more than a few travelers quietly panicking in the middle of a long flight. A dying phone battery and no way to charge it. Most planes today still only offer 2 power outlets for every 3 seats. And, depending on your luck, the one near you might not even work. On top of that, many of these outlets are old-school USB-A, which is no help if your devices run on USB-C, the standard for most modern phones, tablets, and laptops. So here's the move. Don't gamble on airplane power. Always bring a USB-A to USB-C adapter, just in case. and pack a slim, TSA-approved power bank to get you through long flights, unexpected delays, or even a layover where every outlet at the gate is already taken. And before you fly, take a moment to check your aircraft model on sites like Seat Guru or directly on the Airline's app. That way, you'll know what power options are available or not before you even step on board. Because there's nothing worse than landing in a new city with a dead phone and no way to call a ride or pull up your hotel confirmation. 4. Full flights, full bins, and zero chill. How to stay one step ahead. Let's be real, flights are more crowded than ever. Airlines have cut back on routes, but demand is through the roof. So when you step on board, expect a packed cabin, elbow to elbow seating, and overhead bins that fill up faster than you can say Group 3. Here's something most travelers don't realize until it's too late. Overhead bin space isn't assigned. Just because you're sitting under a bin doesn't mean it's reserved for you. That space fills up quickly, especially if you board late. So if the bins above your row are already closed, don't panic. Look for space ahead of your seat, not behind it. Because if you store your bag behind you, you'll have to wait for everyone in that section to get off before you can retrieve it. And don't forget about the bathroom. On a full flight, the rush usually hits right after takeoff, after meal service, and most intensely about 2 hours before landing, when the lights come on and everyone suddenly remembers they need to go. Set a quiet reminder on your watch or phone. Slip in early and thank yourself later. If you're stuck in a middle seat, sandwiched between strangers, create your own comfort zone. An eye mask, a soft hoodie, and a pair of noise-canceling headphones can turn that cramped space into a peaceful little bubble. Trust me, it makes all the difference. 5. Want a snack at 35,000 feet? There's an app for that, and only that. Let's say you've just settled into your seat, cruising through the clouds, and suddenly, you're starving. You reach for the menu, spot something tempting, and gonna order. But surprise, your credit card won't work. Your phone tap gets denied. And you realize this airline only accepts payments through their app. More and more airlines are switching to app-only transactions on board. That means no more swiping your physical card, no tapping with Apple Pay or Google Pay, and definitely no pulling out cash. If you haven't downloaded the Airline's app and loaded your payment information before the plane leaves the gate, you're out of luck. And it's not just snacks. Need to rent headphones, buy a drink, or grab a blanket? App only. This has caught a lot of travelers off guard, especially seniors or folks who don't fly often and assume the old rules still apply. So, here's your pre-flight checklist. Download the Airline's app, sign in or create an account, and make sure your credit card is saved under your profile. Because the last thing you want is to be hungry and helpless at cruising altitude with nothing but your credit card and a craving for pretzels. 6. No shoes, no seat. The dress code rules you didn't expect. Now here's one you might not have seen coming. Airlines are cracking down on what passengers wear, and yes, that includes going barefoot on board. Major carriers like American and United have started enforcing dress codes more strictly, and showing up without shoes, that could actually get you denied boarding or even kicked off the flight. It might sound extreme, but it's part of a bigger push for cleanliness, safety, and minimizing in-flight issues. So even if you like to kick off your shoes and relax, just make sure you're wearing socks or easy-on footwear, and definitely put them back on before heading to the bathroom. Trust me, whatever's on that floor isn't something you want between your toes. If you're flying long haul, here's a bonus tip. Consider wearing compression socks. They're not just for older adults, though if you're over 60 or prone to leg cramps, they're especially helpful. They improve circulation, reduce swelling, and make you feel a whole lot better when you land. Comfort and compliance? That's a travel win. 7. Pack like a pro, because now every inch counts. Let's talk packing, because airlines are getting stricter, and the rules aren't always what you'd expect. If you're flying on a basic economy ticket with airlines like United or Air Canada, you're often limited to just one personal item. That's right, no carry-on, no extra tote, no exceptions. And yes, gate agents are watching closely. Even a small shopping bag, camera, or neck pillow can count as your one item if it's not packed away. So how do you make the most of your limited space? Pack smart. Choose a soft-sided personal item bag, something that fits under the seat but opens like a suitcase. Roll your clothes tightly. Use packing cubes to stay organized, and bring only what you actually need. Think minimal but intentional. And here's something most travelers overlook: where you store your valuables. Instead of cramming your bag fully under the seat in front of you, pull it slightly back and keep it tucked behind your legs. It's more secure and gives you a little extra legroom. If you're storing anything in the overhead bin, clip the zippers closed with a small carabiner to deter theft. And never, ever leave phones, wallets, or passports in the seat back pocket. That's basically inviting trouble. 8. The freebies are gone, but you don't have to pay the price. Here's something every traveler's noticing. Those little comforts that used to be free, they're now showing up with a price tag. On many budget and even some major airlines, things like pillows, blankets, headphones, and even meals now cost extra. And if you're not prepared, it can add up quickly. But here's how you stay one step ahead. First, pre-order your meal when you book your ticket. Not only is it usually cheaper than buying on board, but you'll also be first in line to get exactly what you want. No settling for whatever's left at the back of the cart. Next, bring your own comfort. A compact travel pillow and a light blanket or shawl can make all the difference, especially on long flights. They're light, packable, and save you from shelling out for something thin and overpriced. And don't count on the seatman screen to save you from boredom. Always download entertainment onto your phone or tablet before boarding. Movies, podcasts, audiobooks, whatever helps the hours pass. That way, even if the screen doesn't work or doesn't exist, you're still covered. On newer planes, you might get lucky with upgraded features like meditation apps, do not disturb meal settings, or even seat-to-seat chat. But if not, at least you came prepared. 9. Thieves on board. How to protect your stuff in the sky. Let's talk about something not many people are aware of, but it's happening more than you think. Theft on planes. Picture this: overnight flight, dimmed lights, everyone's tired, and the cabin's full of distracted passengers. It's the perfect setup for thieves. And yes, organized crime rings are targeting high-value routes. They strike when people are distracted during boarding or when the lights are low. And with the cabin full of people, they can slip by unnoticed. So how do you protect yourself? Start with a zippered bag. Anything with an open top or loose closure is an easy target. Keep your valuables close, on your person or behind your legs, not under the seat or in the overhead bin, which are harder to keep an eye on. If you plan on getting some sleep, don't just toss your passport or phone in the seat back pocket. That's essentially a help yourself invitation. Instead, store those items in an interior zipped pocket, preferably one that's close to your body. It's safer and it'll help you rest easier knowing your things are secure. 10. The secret skill of modern air travel. Adaptability. Let's face it, no matter how well you plan, air travel will always throw you a few curveballs. Whether it's a sudden gate change, an unexpected delay, or a new rule you didn't even know existed. Things rarely go exactly as expected. So, what's the most important skill you can have as a traveler in 2025? Adaptability. It's all about learning to reframe frustrations as challenges instead of roadblocks. The more you can roll with the punches, the smoother your journey will be. I also recommend carrying a small travel journal or using your phone's notes app to track what works and what doesn't. It's a great way to improve your travel strategies for the next trip. Instead of stressing over airport delays or waiting at the gate, try to turn that downtime into something productive. Whether it's reading, stretching, or even just meditating, you'll be amazed at how much better you'll feel by taking that extra time to reset. Airports used to make me anxious, but now I see them as transitions, not just between destinations, but they're distinct versions of myself. Every trip I take, I grow a little bolder, a little lighter, and that's the magic of travel. 11. Biometric boarding is here, and it's not optional for long. Remember the good old days when you showed up at the gate with a paper boarding pass, had your ID checked, and felt like you were reeling in the airport hustle? Well, those days are quickly becoming a thing of the past. Biometric technology is quietly replacing the old boarding process, and it's happening much faster than most travelers realize. Airports across the globe are rolling out facial recognition boarding gates, and major airlines like Delta, American, and British Airways are leading the way. Here's how it works. You check in online, agree to use facial recognition, and when you get to the gate, a camera scans your face, matches it to your passport or ID, and boom, you're cleared to board. No boarding pass needed. It's quick, sleek, and, let's be honest, a bit unsettling if you weren't expecting it. So why should you care? Well, in some airports, you won't even be able to opt out of biometric boarding, especially on international flights. If you're uncomfortable with the idea, it's important to check ahead and talk to an agent at the airport. Also, make sure your passport photo is current. If you change your look dramatically, whether it's facial hair, weight loss, or the natural effects of aging, there's a chance the scan might not work. While biometric boarding may feel futuristic now, don't be surprised if in the next year or two it becomes standard practice. Airlines are pushing for faster boarding and reduced staffing, so get ready to see more of it as we move into the next era of air travel. 12. Loyalty points are changing, and not always in your favor. If you've been stacking up loyalty points for years, dreaming of that free flight to Italy or the business class upgrade, it's time to pay attention. Because in 2025, loyalty programs are changing and not always in your favor. Here's what's happening. Airlines are shifting from awarding points based on miles flown to points based on money spent. So, those cheap economy flights you've been booking, they're now going to earn you fewer points. Meanwhile, those splurging on premium seats or swiping their credit cards for upgrades are racking up rewards at a faster rate. On top of that, award seats are now dynamic pricing, meaning one day a flight to Hawaii might cost 25,000 miles, and the next it could jump to 80,000 without any warning. It's like trying to catch a moving target. And the partnerships with credit cards, they're evolving too. Perks like lounge access or free check bags now come with a minimum annual spend on co-branded credit cards. So, if you don't hit that mark, you'll miss out on those benefits. So, what should you do about it? First, don't hoard miles. Use them while they still hold value. Consider diversifying your loyalty by looking into flexible reward programs like Chase Ultimate Rewards or Amex Membership Rewards, which let you transfer points between various airlines and hotel programs. Also, keep a close eye on your program emails. They tend to quietly announce devaluations or changes that could affect your rewards. Bottom line, loyalty points aren't going anywhere, but how you earn and use them is getting more complicated. Stay proactive, and you can still get the most out of your rewards without the disappointment of unexpected changes. Conclusion. Ready for your next flight? So there you have it. 12 essential tips and surprising rule changes that will help you stay ahead of the game the next time you take to the skies. Air travel is changing fast, and while it can be overwhelming, being prepared and adaptable will make all the difference. Whether it's understanding new tech upgrades, navigating crowded flights, or staying on top of loyalty points, the key is to stay informed and be ready for anything. With the right mindset and a few simple strategies, you can turn even the most stressful travel situations into opportunities to relax, enjoy, and make your journey smoother. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Travel Vibes for more travel insights and expert advice. Remember, every trip is a chance to learn something new. And who knows, the next time you fly, you'll be the one helping others navigate the skies. Safe travels, and see you on the next adventure.